On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in, Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you, live on a Tuesday, downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is your spot. Hell of a 3-hour program lined up today. A lot on the World Cup, a lot on Major League Baseball, some NBA offseason. Johnny Avello on the program coming up in 30 minutes. We'll talk to him about the World Cup and what was the damage they were looking at if the USA really made a deep run in this tournament. And I guess how good of a result was that for the book last night, as all that money came in on the USA before that pathetic and embarrassing performance took them out. Alex Crook on the Cup, Steve Wiss a little bit later on, and Bruce Marshall as well. How far are they going to get close ever in our lifetime, Paulie? That much more on that coming up. But can we say this now that the Argentina comeback, is that the best match of the tournament? I'm confusing myself here every day because it gets topped the way it seems.
Cape Verde was better because it would happen in extra time. But that comeback was phenomenal. And 2-0 down in the 78th minute to win in 90 minutes, nuts.
Egypt was minus 135 to win late in regulation.
About the 84th minute, yes. Yes.
What is happening?
But to score 3 times and win it. 30-1 at DraftKings in play. 25-1 at Caesars, 20-1 other places. That was to win in regulation. 9-1 to advance when they were down 2-0. And then the controversy again with VAR, but how they continue to do this and the comeback again. That is now 31 goals and added stoppage time as well for the tournament, which forget about that with the record.
Well,
it just keeps the goals after 90 minutes keep coming.
Do you recall what that prop was before the tournament started? I believe books had that up.
I never saw it.
How many goals will be in stoppage time? It's every single day the way it seems. And then Messi, of course, with another goal. Why would he not? So you know what that means. Now that either capped off parlays going back to Sunday when Haaland and also Harry Kane got in, or that activated and started new parlays.
Yeah.
With him scoring today, Messi on the pitch on Thursday, and tying into Norway playing England coming up on Saturday as well. So these superstars are getting there almost every single game, Paulie.
They're begging to get beat, too.
Oh,
this is why everyone who has the Colombia tickets as well.
Well, you must have been dancing today with your bet.
I wanted to add more Colombia. Because while they were down 2-0, Colombia was still 25-1 to win this. And then the bracket opens up. But after the last 2 matches now, they're just begging to get beat. And Egypt deserved a better fate. And they're crying after what happened and why that goal was disallowed. But in any event, you can't blow a 2-goal lead in the 78th minute. You got to find a way to get it. And you can't even get the extra time. That's the other kick to the basket, how that played out. So it's just all-time tournament. And again, I'm going to be depressed when it's over. So congrats. They move on, and they get the winner of Switzerland and Colombia coming up to cap off the quarterfinals.
Well, it goes back to, one of the bets that I had. Think about this bet that I had in pocket yesterday. It was the Dodgers to beat the Rockies last night, tied into Argentina to win today, not to advance, to win the match. Yeah. So in 90 minutes. And the Dodgers blew a 6-3 lead. It went to extra innings, and they somehow got the win. I had absolutely zero business winning that bet. That's outrageous that I did, in fact.
Yeah, I saw back after this sent a tweet, too.
How about this?
Funhouse. He's not a big soccer bettor, but he's like, what a miracle that is to cash that in regulation.
Yeah, he tweeted at us with the screen grab. He had 2,700 on Argentina at minus 257. And he said, I've been gambling for a long time. If I've ever had a more unlikely win than this one, I don't remember what it was. And it needed to happen in regulation time. That's the whole key to the bit.
Yep. The other thing now, you go back the last 3 weeks, if you were blindly betting come from behind and win every match, you're up 58 units. Circa has lowered it to plus 550 on these matches now. You get both teams. DraftKings had Argentina 9-1 to come from behind and win. 58 units now last 3 weeks.
Unreal.
Blindly bet every match.
Yeah, so
The comebacks, the stars, everything going on.
I actually did add Colombia today
Yep.
to win the whole thing when they were down 2-0.
They've conceded 1 goal in the whole tournament, and they outplayed Portugal.
And I got to tell you this, too. The Golden Boot race was over.
Yep.
Because until he scored Argentina's second goal today in his 8th of the tournament, if that doesn't go in, they're wiped out. He finishes the tournament with 7, and he would automatically lose to Mbappe right now because Mbappe, one of the tiebreakers is assists. And Mbappe has 2 assists, and he would have taken it down.
Okay.
So that's over with. He has no chance to cash it. But now everything opens back up now for this team. And I'm kind of with you, though, now. I am back-to-back performances like that. If Colombia can get by today, and maybe I should say the same thing about Switzerland, right? But they are begging to be had, Argentina, begging.
Yep. How does Cape Verde have a better keeper than us?
And it's not, well, they got...
That's the other thing. I mean, a population of 500,000, and we can't find a goalie, a decent keeper. But he was the star of that match, too, how well he played, and then the theatrics and what happened in extra time. But I'm totally with you. This is just... Everyone's been ripping the FIFA rankings in the light of what happened last night as well. But this Argentina team doesn't look like one of the best teams by far.
No, and
they've struggled. Cape Verde and now Egypt? Come on.
I know. And I got it. And Egypt looked, by the way, their defense was awesome. And I still don't know how that second goal was wiped off the board. Like they don't, complaining about it as well. We're getting feedback on email and on X today, even before the show starts. Like, can somebody explain that to me? Why that was not a goal? It came off the board like 2 minutes after it was. So I don't know.
Right. Goes to the other end of the pitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was ridiculous, in my opinion, what happened there to Egypt. And also, there's the 2 teams now remaining on that upper part of the bracket to the right side. The winner of England and Norway.
You're cooking.
Absolutely, you are.
You are cooking.
Harry Kane is live to win. I think the winner of that match, Kane or Holland, clearly live to win that award.
Yeah.
So
who had a Colombia-Norway semifinal?
Oh.
That's in play, too. And you got to fade the yellow. Harry gets another yellow, he's suspended.
Right.
So he's got to fade that in the next match, too. But Saturday's going to be fantastic. Winners, Colombia, if they advance, play in Kansas City Saturday night. I like under 2.5 in this match.
I'm open
Still time to jump in 6 minutes in.
Okay, very good. I'm open for any comparison from the audience right now to that third goal last night. What's the comp to that? That's an all-time disgrace. That's not even high school level. That's worse than that.
What was worse, the keeper or Tim Ream not being able to stop it?
He was, on all 4 goals, he was completely lost.
Yes.
It's like they were totally unprepared to play that game last night. And that was eye-opening, that was embarrassing, and that was yet the every 4-year reminder that we are not close to these best teams. We get sucked in. We think that we're getting closer and closer. We think that we can actually go on deep runs. I was actually hoping that they would win that match last night to bet on Spain, which we talked about yesterday based on, and we'll talk to Johnny Avella about that coming up in about 20 minutes here.
Yeah.
That would have been the time, I think, to absolutely pound against them. But for those of you who bet Belgium last night based on all that money coming in on the U.S., congratulations, because you never had to sweat that one out. That was a rocking chair, and that was stealing candy from a baby.
I didn't think it was that easy. I thought so. We had a shot to 2-1. But
I thought it was easier than I just said, actually.
But to get the equalizer and then you give up the 2-1, give up the lead, or excuse me, then they take the 2-1 lead right after was deflating. But we handed them 3 goals, so it doesn't seem that we're close. We kept mentioning that it's a big step up in competition. We finally play a top 10 team and get eviscerated. But it's just I thought there was a chance after we get the equalizer from Tillman, and then you give it up yet again, and then the third goal is just a backbreaker. That's just it's so bad and amateurish.
Sure.
That third goal, and then the fourth goal was just as bad too, with Lukaku putting it in. So
yeah, see, I saw the game differently. I saw a team from Belgium that was precise with everything that they did on offense. I thought their passing was extraordinary, and the defense again was completely lost and not ready for the U.S. And I thought it was a fluky goal by Tillman again to get in and be able to do that twice. Great for him, amazing moment. But other than that, they presented to me little to zero chances throughout almost that entire match. And Pulisic was horrendous in the match last night. He had 11 turnovers.
Yeah.
And they never tried to attack. And Belgium, by the way, they sat all their stars. I guess that tells you that maybe this golden age here or the golden generation for Belgium, maybe the young guys are going to be okay when they move on, because without De Bruyne, without Lukaku right away in that match, and they scored right away, and you're right, Paul, to go up at 2-1 again on that other goal.
The guy got a problem with is Pulisic, because this guy, what is he, Zion Williamson? And he made it worse with his comments after the match. Well, I'll be good now with rest, with the injury that he had. The guy's always hurt. He can't deliver. He can't score. He's all hype, all these commercials, and he was a total non-factor again.
Yep, yet again.
It's not like it's once every 4 years. So people are infuriated at that guy, and I don't blame him. You go back since he did the Trump dance, he scored 1 goal in 14 games. That's the other thing that happened. It's just you can't stay healthy. Total flop. I know Massero and other people were going after him for the entire World Cup, and he just turned out to be a total bust.
Yeah.
After how bad he was. Mm-hmm. The goalkeeping was atrocious. The Tim Ream stuff, 38 years old. We can't do better than this. Our offense is fine. Why can't we find defenders? Why can't we find keepers? Everyone said our goalkeeping was a problem, and everyone turned out to be right. We were closer in 2014 when we lost 2-1. 2002, 94. To think we win the group and we got a shot, but I guess it turns out when we played a good team, that was it, and we were embarrassed.
Yeah. What did Michael Lombardi always say on the network? We're a year away from being a year away.
Yeah, right.
I think the U.S. is 4 years away from being 4 years away from being 4 years away.
I mean, you get the break with the red card with Balogun. Trump helps out, and then on your home soil, that happens for the world to see. And that's hard to take because it's once every 4 years.
Sure.
Oh, boy.
And imagine if it was a different team other than Belgium, maybe even better than Belgium.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I wanted Spain in the worst way.
Oh, me too. Because imagine.
I don't know. Maybe you were right about Senegal. I mean, Belgium was lucky. Forget all the Argentina talk. They're down 2-0 in the, 85th minute?
Right.
And they win in extra time. That should have been Senegal yesterday.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to update this Switzerland-Colombia match coming up. They are now approaching the 12th minute. Also, some strong comments after the match, obviously, from last night. Carly Lloyd, Alexi Lalas, and this contract in the NBA kind of feels like Jaylen Brown all over again. This is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
30th minute here, Colombia and the Swiss and Switzerland just had an incredible attempt, but they could not get one past the keeper for Colombia, so that game is still scoreless. And right now, more soccer. We go out to the progressive guest line, Johnny Avello, the man in charge of DraftKings Sportsbook. joins us now. Johnny, hope you're having a great summer, and you're out of the Vegas heat right now, which is a smart move. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks. Good to talk to you.
Sure. Can you tell us, like, when Team USA, when they're winning matches in the World Cup, and sports betting just gets bigger every single year, and we're kind of all buying in, like, hey, they actually might go on a deep run. Like, what's the betting handle like for a match with USA involved, like last night? What's the comparison for that?
Last night's USA game was comparison. You can compare that to a Monday night football game, Sunday night football game in the NFL, which is a really big handle. Surprisingly, that was not the biggest handle for us of the entire World Cup tournament. The Mexico game was the day before.
Ooh.
Just slightly, but both of those games were the biggest handles by far. The USA had 3 of the largest handles in the tournament so far. So you ask, what's going to happen when they get better? Well, they're pretty good this year. It's going to take a little bit more to, catch up with some of the teams that have been playing this game for years and years and, have figured out the formula. But anytime USA is going to play, we're going to be in desperate need of the other side to win. And guys, I got to tell you, it's not like we're rooting against the USA because we're not. We're putting up a line where, whatever happens, happens. And we're putting up a fair line. We're not skewing it, knowing that the USA is going to get, bet heavily. We're just putting up a fair number for our customers.
Yeah, good answer as well, because I saw a lot of people like Patrick Everson, and he talked to a lot of traders and sportsbook managers, and a lot of guys signed off at the end, go Belgium. And it's like, okay, you win almost every time. But how much was the in-play a huge factor in the England match, considering England was a man down, and people thought Mexico could rally?
Yeah, the in-play is big each and every game. You could figure on somewhere maybe about 30% of the handle or more to be on the in-play. And it is a great game to bet in play because you have more time to think. It's not like the NFL and other games where you get seconds to make a decision on something. The ball's usually kind of stagnant and not much happening sometimes for multiple minutes. In that particular game, they did try to pile up on one side, thinking that team had the advantage, and that's what in-game's about. In-game's about having a feeling for something or seeing something that, where you see a disadvantage or an advantage to your side. So in-game continues to be not only big for soccer, but every sport that we offer.
Well, sure, especially what you guys are talking about here. Once the red card comes out on England, everybody's going to be like, wait a second here. This is still kind of early in the match. We got to pound Mexico right now. How about if the U.S. if like they were for real this year and they made a deep run, like the overall damage, if they made the finale or if they won the whole thing, is that comparable to anything that you guys do?
Probably the biggest future book loss we would ever have, by a lot. They never stopped betting, and first of all, you got to go back to when the World Cup was even announced and we had it up. And of course, we had to change a few teams here and there, but the U.S. was bet throughout that time period. And then when the tournament started each and every game in between games, it wasn't a day where we didn't get hammered on the USA to win it all. And we really did keep up a really fair price. I was 60 when the tournament started, kind of stayed in that area. And then even yesterday during the in-play, when they were down a goal, their price was as high as 50-1. So we continued to give a really fair price on them. And it would have been an extreme loss if they would have got there.
And you're telling me that had they won the match last night and advanced to take on Spain on Friday, you're thinking that the opener you guys would have put up would have been on the money line, Spain around minus 110. Is that correct?
110, 115, yep. That's on the three-way.
Right.
Spain would have been higher on to advance. They would have been around 280 or so. But remember, in the three-way, it has to happen in the 90 minutes plus the stoppage time, or else, it turns into a draw at that point. And there was a lot of games. If you look back in the tournament, there's been a lot of draws so far.
Yes.
So a lot of teams play a little bit different type of game. If they're tied up with a couple of minutes to go, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go, some teams that are behind one, they get a little bit more aggressive. But from what I've seen, when teams they're tied up with 10 minutes to go, yeah, they want to score, but they don't take a lot of chances.
You're everywhere. I would think that these player props have been horrible for you.
Oh.
The superstars keep scoring, and then we had that stretch where the big three kept getting 2, and they played like one after another as well. How bad was that?
Oh, we got hammered on some games. We really did. Any games, when you go back a little bit earlier in the tournament, there were days when, France would win 3-0, Brazil would win 3-0. Spain would win 2-0, and what they would do is they'd bet those teams not only to win the game, but they'd also bet them to cover the goal and a half, and then all the star players to score either first goal, anytime goal, and so all of that was parlayed together in same game parlays. And we really did take a beating on a few days. I'm telling you, it was, it was like the NFL. It would be like the NFL with all the chalk winning and all the chalks teams. All their high end players all scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it equated to.
A couple touchdowns, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. It happened, and it happened again today with Messi scoring. So that probably again activated a bunch of other parlays now, tying into Mbappe on Thursday, and then the Sunday match. If Haaland and Kane both score again, it's going to be a bloodbath, I'm guessing, for you guys.
Oh, it's awful when it happens. But hey, guys, that's part of the business.
Yeah.
That's
It's
fun,
going to
yeah.
happen at some point, right? And you just go with the flow, knowing that there's better days ahead.
I'm glad you offer this market. It's great. Like next team, and in the NBA, with all the player movement, how have the future odds been, and how's the action with LeBron and the big like Kawhi and Giannis next team props?
First of all, LeBron. There's been a few teams have been the favorite at some point. There was, the Golden State was about a 240 favorite at one point. They are now plus 5-1.
Wow.
The Heat were taking some money. Now everybody's kind of settled on the Cavs. The Cavs, they're the team now taking the money. They are minus $1.35. There's no sure thing that that he's going to go there either. And maybe he's going to have one of those shows where everybody tunes in and he's going to let everybody know where he goes. Remember that fiasco that happened back quite a few years ago? But hey, this is a difficult market for us at all times. Traders got to be really sharp, got to be certainly keeping their ears and eyes open 24/7 because the news just changes. This, anytime we do any of these type of bets whether it's an NFL draft or some kind of future on players next team, it's out of our control. So it's all about just kind of knowing what's going on as best you can.
Yeah, and I'm guessing you guys probably across the country write quite a bit to something like that, right? LeBron, Giannis, I mean, is it going to be Boston? Will it be Miami? You guys are probably taking a lot of action on that.
Yeah, we do. We actually do because we're one of the few to put it up.
That's right.
Yeah.
And people just look for a place to go where they can find it.
Johnny, great to catch up with you. Enjoy your time in Southern California. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good talking to you.
Back
You're the
at
man.
you. There you go. Johnny Avello on the Progressive Guest Line, head of DK Sportsbooks across the country. This is a good tweet talking about the result last night and how ugly it was, that third goal from this is from Beer Guy on X. Ramirez snap over Manning's head on the first play of the Super Bowl, similar to that third goal.
Good, yeah. Like if Hellebuck would have allowed a shot from center ice
Yeah.
late in the... Why are we so good at hockey? You know how expensive it is to play hockey? The equipment, the travel.
The travel that you have.
Because I keep reading youth soccer is broken. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, but that Dan Wetzel had a great piece on it. Other people about how bad youth soccer is. I don't know. Because it kind of doesn't make sense if we win the gold medal. The great story about 1980, but how expensive it is to play hockey, yet we're a disgrace in soccer.
Yeah, what about this from Kyle on X? The good thing is for the U.S. and his belief that the World Cup with it being in America, thousands, if not millions, of more kids will play the sport, which leads to better competition, which leads to better players. Well, we can hope, right? It would be awesome if we're a soccer power.
Yeah, I know. That's why I couldn't believe guys signing off with their text who worked at sportsbooks. Go Belgium. You got to win every single day. If they win, they're just going to bet it against us, against Spain, no matter. I mean, come on.
Win, lose next. Yes, they were eliminated last night, but we have a banger of a game on Thursday night. I'll explain next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, more on the World Cup here as we go out to the progressive guest line. Alex Crook joins the program now. Make sure you follow him on X at Alex_Crook. He is the chief football correspondent for TalkSport, and he's on the program now. Alex, thanks for the time today. We appreciate it. Let's begin here. We are now in the 71st minute, Colombia and Switzerland. It is 0-0 as we speak. How do you see this match playing out the rest of the way?
Well, it's gone exactly as I thought it would so far. Quite a tight, cagey affair. Switzerland, not a team who give up too many chances. I think Colombia have the better attacking options, but the Swiss know their way around the knockout stages of a major tournament. So I predicted a draw after 90 minutes before the game. Looks like we're heading that way. Wouldn't surprise me if we go all the way to penalties, actually. And then, obviously, it's the flip of a coin if we get to that stage.
Yeah, that's only plus 220 in play. That's incredible. But it speaks to it's been cagey and nervy, as you said. Did you think that was karma for USA yesterday?
I have to say, and a lot of your viewers won't like me saying it, I think it was. I said when I was last on with you yesterday morning, I thought it was a bad look for the tournament that Flo Balogun's suspension had been overturned following political intervention, clear intervention from Donald Trump. They didn't even try and hide it. I felt it would motivate Belgium. It would maybe give them extra incentive to make sure that they got the job done. And in the end, they got it done quite comfortably. It was a really poor performance from the US. And I wonder if all the outside noise actually had a negative effect on their preparations as well. And I wonder what happens now with Mauricio Pochettino and his future.
Okay, so then spinning this forward now, because we talked to Johnny Avello an hour ago from DraftKings Sportsbook, and he confirmed this, like they would have opened up on the three-way, Spain would have been minus 110 on the money line, which we pointed out yesterday. If that's the case, I mean, it's going to be a suitcase bet on Spain. No apologies there. Now they're on a three-way, $1.70 against Belgium. And the draw there is plus 290. Belgium 5-1 to win. Spain obviously higher than that to advance. Do you give Belgium a shot here against the Spanish side?
I'm not sure I do, to be honest. I think their victory was more about how bad the USA were. I haven't been overly impressed with Belgium to this point in the tournament. I watched Spain against Portugal. Quite a cagey affair, that one as well. But they had big chances, Spain, in the first half. They could have been well ahead before they got that late Mikel Merino winner. Yet to concede a goal. So, yeah, I'd be quite strong on Spain to advance to a semi-final, a possible semi-final against France in Dallas. How mouth-watering would that be? That'd
be phenomenal. Is France going to be there? How do you think they match up against Morocco Thursday?
I think Morocco are tricky opponents, obviously with a surprise package of the last World Cup, making it all the way to the third and fourth place playoff, making it to the semi-finals. You can't really call them a surprise package this time around because we know all about them. France, a little bit underwhelming against Paraguay, but I wonder if that was as much to do with the heat as anything else. I still think they've got far too much attacking quality. And actually, if Morocco come on to France, that might just suit those forward players, the likes of Elise and Dembele, Doué, Barcola, and Mbappe, of course. The list is endless.
How do you think the Golden Boot's going to play out? Messi with another one today, but they are surviving and advancing here, and it has not been pretty their last two matches, and who knows if they get by the one of this Colombia-Switzerland match, but he leads now, obviously, Mbappe and Haaland by a goal, leads Harry Kane by 2. Is there a bet to be made in that market, you think, Alex?
Well, it was skin of the teeth stuff, wasn't it, again, for Argentina? What a game that was. And to come back from 2-0 down to win 3-2, there was big controversy over an Egyptian goal ruled out. I can understand that. And I think if you are of the belief that maybe there is a conspiracy theory to get Argentina deep into the competition, that decision will only back up that belief. in terms of the Golden Boot, I'm not sure Argentina are going to get much further, particularly I think if they play Colombia. I would maybe make Colombia slight favourites based on what we've seen from Argentina in the last 2 knockout games. So in terms of the Golden Boot, I'd be strong on Mbappe. You know, I expect France to make the final. Obviously, Harry Kane, you've mentioned, is a couple behind, but Mbappe just looks like he's going to score every time he takes the pitch at the moment. And I think Haaland's quest will end in Miami. Obviously, hope so with my English hat on, but I expect England to win that game.
Is that a high-scoring affair between England and Norway? How do you see it?
Maybe. We've seen a different England this tournament, certainly against Croatia and Congo, and in the last game against Mexico. They haven't been afraid to give up chances. I think they have belief that they've got forward players who can outscore the opposition, which has been a real gear change from what we saw a lot of the time under Gareth Southgate. Norway's best form of defence is attack. In Erling Haaland, they've got probably the best number 9 on the planet. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this is a really entertaining affair and it becomes a shootout between Haaland and not just Harry Kane, but Jude Bellingham, who's going under the radar as maybe a dark horse in that race for the Golden Boot.
Sure. Okay, so we want your thoughts overall on USA soccer in general, and our guest is Alex Crook, Talk Sport. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. Yeah, we have been extremely harsh on their performance last night, and it was another slap in the face. Right. It was another reminder, like, we're not even close. I mean, in our lifetime, will this team, the U.S. men's national team, ever be close to the best teams in the world?
Difficult to see it. It felt like this tournament could have been a watershed moment if they could have matched what the class of 2002 did and at least get to that quarter-final against Spain. Mm-hmm. I think that would have been an achievement. As it is now, you look at it, and yes, the win against Paraguay in the group stage was particularly impressive, but to lose 4-1 to a Belgium side who have not pulled up any trees in this World Cup so far, I think was a real kick in the teeth for the US. And I wonder how the supporters view Pochettino now, because it wasn't a particularly positive reaction towards him coming into the tournament based on what they'd seen in the warm-up matches. Then obviously he pilots them through the group stage. You got a bit of criticism for losing that final game in the group, but they end up in the round of 16. You feel like the public swell of opinion is changing, but the fact they've gone out and been hammered on the way out the exit door, maybe that negativity towards Pochettino will surface again.
Do you think Pulisic is one of the most overrated players in soccer?
I think it's really harsh to judge him on this tournament because I thought he was really good up until he got injured against Paraguay. He's not looked fit to me since then. And you could see his reaction when he came off yesterday. He was almost in tears. I think he was in tears in the dugout. He knows that he hasn't been the best version of himself at this World Cup. And I think that's more to do with fitness than form. And make no mistake about it, if the USA were going to progress to the last 8, they needed Pulisic fully fit and firing, and he clearly wasn't.
So you've been going after the manager, and that's fair. Do you agree that our defense is old and garbage as well? Is that a big problem?
Yeah, I think when Tim Ream is still playing every game at a World Cup, you've clearly got an issue there. No disrespect to Tim Ream. I think he's had a fabulous career, but clearly past his best now. I mean, garbage is a strong word, but I understand your frustration because it was a real mauling. I'm not saying I'm going after Pochettino because I think he's a terrific coach. I think the USA are lucky to have him. But just speaking to US soccer fans, they don't necessarily share that sentiment.
Okay, so you said if Colombia wins here, and that could be a big if the way this match is playing out. They did have a nice attempt about 4 minutes ago, but could not score. You would make them maybe a small favorite based on how Argentina has played the last 2 matches. Can you, with that in mind, can you see it upset in the quarters at all? Like, where would that come from?
I think that would be the most likely, just based on not what we saw from Argentina today, but also in the last game against Cape Verde when they were really lucky to come through that and avoid the lottery of a penalty shootout. I just think Colombia have got players who can hurt what to me looks quite a vulnerable Argentine defence. Obviously, Christian Romero's come up with some big moments at the top end of the pitch, but defensively, I worry about him. Lisandro Martinez, I'm not sure is completely fit either. And you've got the likes of Luis Diaz and Cordoba, who I think can pack a real punch against Argentina. So, yeah, if you were looking for upset, I would think it would come there. If you're asking me to stick my neck on the block, France will beat Morocco. Spain will come through against Belgium. England will beat Norway. That last one, I think, is more open to interpretation.
That'd be the one. Very good. Follow him on X at Alex_Crook with Talk Sport, and he has been awesome coming on all of the shows here on VSiN over the World Cup. Pleasure talking to you, sir. We appreciate the time and enjoy the rest of the Cup.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Be good.
So maybe garbage was too harsh, but still a lot of people were
No,
going after.
not from last night.
No,
It's
no,
not.
yeah, and that was unacceptable with all 4 goals. But to his point, though, let's say this goes to extra time. Colombia has allowed 1 goal in the tournament. So I think they match up well against Argentina, and they shut down Portugal as well. So if they can get this here, and again, penalties was last check was 2-1 in play. I mean, you still got 45 minutes left potentially.
Okay, so
But that's they don't concede.
no. Right now to advance, as we're in the 80th minute, Colombia is and it just locked up. It just locked up. They were a minus 150 to advance. The Swiss plus 120. What are we, 90 seconds behind here in the feed probably?
Got the ball too.
Oh, don't tell me this is a Swiss goal. Okay, I don't see anything yet either.
Well, sometimes they do that.
Yeah.
There's a
But do you notice today when it was 2-0 Egypt, everything off the board? Golden boot, outrights, the match for a minute was off the board. All right. Well, hopefully, based on our bets, the Swiss do not score in the next 5 minutes or at all. Up next, more ways to approach betting this outstanding tournament, and we have a phenomenal comp to that outrageous goal, the third one allowed last night by Team USA. I'll tell you what it is next.
On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. 0 coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in 1 click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in today. Great action. Now we are in extra time. No score. 0-0. Colombia and Switzerland. Winner will get Argentina after the miraculous comeback today. Busy hour coming up. We think we're going to have Bruce Marshall on. He said, guys, we'll try to do 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, but if this game goes to PKs, we'll see. He said that 5 hours ago?
Had all the makings.
It does. It did. Yep. We go out to the progressive guest line. The Meat Man, Steve Wiss, joins the program now. Betting Weekly Studios, Because We Win podcast. Meat Man, thanks for the time today. How are you feeling as a fan of, obviously, England and how they looked against Mexico the other night? Now they're going to get Norway coming up over the weekend.
Better than I felt before the Mexico game, because I think before that match there was a lot of question marks about England. But in fairness, I think England produced one of the best performances I've actually seen, really, from them at a major tournament, considering where it was at, the Azteca Stadium in Mexico, at altitude, with the fans on their back, down to 10 men for the last 40 minutes. So I think I tell you, watch out for maybe a bit of a flat England performance. We'll talk about that coming up soon. But certainly feeling a lot better and more optimistic about the England chances than I did before the Mexico game.
That had everything. I didn't expect a banger like that. But to be a 3-2 final, how Kane delivered, you got the penalties, and then Henderson breaks his arm, and he's carried off on a stretcher.
Well, do you know, it was a crazy game. I didn't see that coming. One of my friends actually messaged me at halftime and said he bet on first half over 2.5 goals. And I said, what have you been drinking? Because whatever it is, I'll have some of that, please.
Yeah, right.
Because, I mean, he cashed the ticket. I think it was about nearly 20-1 first half over 2.5 goals. I mean, I never saw that for the whole match, let alone first half. But
sure.
Look, I think it was a classic game, wasn't it? It's the game of the World Cup so far. It might not get beaten.
Okay. Well, Argentina, the comeback today was pretty. I agree. I mean, like ranking the best games or the matches so far this tournament is basically impossible. So how do you want to approach from a betting standpoint on Saturday when they get Erling Haaland in Norway?
Do you know what? I'm actually going to go against the grain here because I suspect a lot of people are expecting goals, a banger of a game, open with chances, shots, corners, everything. But I'm going to go the under. I'm going to go under 2.75 goals, for this one. And one of the main reasons for it is the weather again. I mentioned it the last time I was on, and it proved right with the France-Paraguay game. It proved right with the Argentina game against Cape Verde in regulation. And Miami is going to feel very, very hot in the 90s. It's going to feel perhaps 100. Both of these teams are not used to those sort of really hot conditions. And, I mean, let's remember Brazil-Norway was played at a walking pace for a lot of the game. True. And that should never have gone over.
True. That
should have been an under 2.5 game. So I think we watch out also for a flat performance from England. They've had an emotional high. Ooh. Norway have had quite an emotional high as well. So maybe both teams could come out cagey and flat. I see the first half tight. I like first half draw to bet on that at plus 120. Maybe even 0-0 half time. But for the match goals, I actually think under 2.75. We may well get a couple of goals in the second half. But I think overall it's going to be tighter than expected, certainly early on.
All right, excellent breakdown. What happens now after the big performance by Belgium going against Spain Friday?
I think they get their asses handed to them, to be honest with you.
All right.
Honestly, guys, it's like, seriously, the US were really, really poor yesterday. Mm-hmm. That's the main reason for me that Belgium have won that game. Belgium raised it a bit. I think they were a bit fired up with the Balogun thing. And I think matchup-wise, maybe certain types of players suited them. But this is so much different now for Belgium. Maybe Belgium have had their statement win now, and they're not going to be quite as fired up. But Spain are so good technically on the ball. I mean, these guys just don't concede goals, do they?
No.
And one of the main reasons is because the amount of ball possession they have. Like, you can't get the ball off them very easily. So I think Spain actually cruised to a win because eventually Belgium, I think, will get frustrated, probably find themselves behind, and might leave the door open for 2 or 3 for Spain on the counter-attack. So I think Spain here, -1 on the Asian handicap. It's around even money. I think this is a shot to nothing, guys, because at bare minimum, they should win by 1 goal in 90 minutes. These are a lot better than what the USA are. So Belgium, I've got to say, I've got them wrong a lot of the tournament. Mm-hmm. But on this instance, I just can't see how they live with Spain's technical excellence. I don't really think Belgium are going to score. Spain control the game from start to finish. So that -1 Asian handicap looks good. And I'm not buying Belgium just because they beat the US. It was a really poor US performance.
How bad? Was that one of the worst you've seen on a big stage in quite some time? The first goal, the third goal was an embarrassment. Yeah.
I thought it was disgusting. Honestly, I was really disappointed in the US. I expected a lot more from them. They just froze on the occasion. I think the occasion got to them. They had 4 shots by the 65th minute. 4 shots. They weren't even having a go. They seemed to lose every duel. They seemed tired. They seemed gassed, really. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it was maybe a step too far for the USA. I don't think it helped in the build-up with the Balogun thing. They seemed distracted. But let's be honest, there was no one on that field can come out with any credit, can they? I thought the whole team absolutely stank the place out.
They did. The defense was laughable. The third goal allowed was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, basically, at that level. And they were not...
What is that?
I have no idea. We don't know. We've been talking about the entire show for other comps. And they just... How do you come out like that? They were not ready for that match at all.
The only thing I can think of is it's simply World Cup, in their own back garden, last 16 knockout match, quarterfinals at stake, and the pressure got to the players. The manager, I think, has got to take a lot of stick as well. Uh-huh. I mean, where's the game plan there? Where's the change-up of the game plan?
Yeah.
It clearly wasn't working. You've got that 2 hydration breaks to sort it out plus half time. I think it's really disappointing. Some of the player quality maybe is not as good as we thought it was. That freezing goal, I mean, it was kind of billed as a weakness in goalkeeper, wasn't it? Yeah. I tweeted, I would rather miss the freeze from, Arnold Schwarzenegger from the Batman movie, was it? I mean, it was really poor.
Yes.
But hey, listen, at least the US won a knockout game. Maybe they can build it on for the future.
Yeah. Okay. Your fun poison here. France, Morocco, another under. Why?
Oh, this could be a shock, I wouldn't be actually completely shocked if France got knocked out.
Here we go.
I'm not going to bet on them to get knocked out, but I think Morocco can hang tough here. I like the under, again, under 2.5 goals. Foxborough, 4 p.m. local time kickoff. It's going to be pretty warm. Last time that happened with France-Paraguay, we got the under. And the blueprint's been made from Paraguay, how to play against this France team, how to nullify them. And I think Morocco will learn from that. Morocco have got better players than what Paraguay have. They're well used to being set up defensively. They're actually unbeaten in 34 straight games in all competitions, if you include the African Nations final farce. So I think they can stay close to them. They've got a big injury problem here. Saibari, the striker for Morocco, he's probably ruled out injured, which is a major blow, crucial for them on the counter-attack. So that limits their goal-scoring potential. So they're going to have to be defensive, hang tough and stay tight. Again, I think half-time draws good here, plus 130. But if I'm being logically honest, France have the depth that they have on their bench of quality so good that France surely in the second half probably will win the game 1-0, 2-0 sort of territory.
Okay. Love the analysis as always. Follow him on X at MeatmanSoccer. He is Steve Wiss. He's on the Progressive Guest Line with the Betting Weekly Studios and Because We Win podcast. Was that at the Post for Columbia? Awesome. Okay.
This Columbia game, guys. Honestly, I really want them to win this, but they've not quite been on as sharp as I wanted.
Yeah. You tipped them off at gigantic numbers like 2 years ago on the show. Okay, so the most likely outcome, we were talking about this. Some books will let you. It's basically a 2-team parlay. Like who's going to win the World Cup along with the Golden Boot? Do you think at the end is it going to be France Mbappe, or is there an angle where it's going to be some sort of an upset? I ran this by you in the break. Could it be France and Harry Kane? Third place game will count for the goals. That's 25-1.
I think that the most goals are going to come in the semi-finals. If we look where the semi-final venues are, we're in, I think, Cowboy Stadium and Atlanta. Mm-hmm. We know these indoor climate-controlled domes have produced more goals. And the outdoor arenas now, we're going to get a lot of heat. So the semi-final matchup, I think, would suit either Harry Kane or Erling Haaland more, probably. And no matter who they play, either it's Argentina, Switzerland, or Colombia. You know, if we get Spain against France, we might not get such an offensive game as we expect. We know that Spain don't concede many goals. I think now one of Kane or Haaland could be backed in this golden to top goal scorer market, because I feel like one of them can have a big game somewhere. Mbappe might just sort of get a couple more goals along the way. It's so difficult because Messi's obviously leading it now. We can't rule him out. It's one of the closest, most exciting races for this top scorer award that I've ever known, to be honest with you. And, you know, for those playing around with, you know, winner and top scorer, fair play. I'm not sure I could commit to one right now, though.
Why can't England win it? Brackets open up.
They can win it.
Okay.
They can win it, absolutely can win it. But I think, you know, minus money against Norway, I think that's a little bit disrespectful against Norway. And then, you know, if it was England, Argentina, I mean, that's just a match for the ages. There's so much history there. They're going to have to grind it in the heat in Miami. That's not going to help England. The right back situation is still an issue. And then the final is going to be awkward against France or Spain. Look, they can win it. England, I'm more feeling better about England, obviously, now than I was. And in Thomas Tuchel, they've got a good manager. So they can win it. I'm just not sure about. I mean, would you want to bet on them at plus 600 to win it right now? I'm not sure I would.
True or false? You are singing "It's Coming Home" every single day.
It's probably I've been listening to that song quite a bit. It comes up on videos. It's on my Spotify. Yeah, I prefer 3 Lines 96 than 98. There's 2 versions of that. So.
Okay. All right.
96 is better than 98, I think.
Very good.
Great job, buddy.
11 a.m. every day during the World Cup. Betting Weekly Studios, Because We Win podcast. Thanks, Meatman. We appreciate that.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. We don't do politics on this show. This is a sports curse or a betting trend. You know what to do next time.